Financial institutions, FIs, in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union are in support of the ECCB's digital payment platform, DCash, as an avenue for propelling digital transformation and improving financial connectivity across the region. This is according to a press release from the ECCB issued this week. The ECCB becomes the first central bank to issue a central bank-backed digital currency, CBDC, for a currency union in March 2021 with the launch of the DCash pilot. Since then, 22 FIs from all 8 countries of the ECCU have joined the DCash pilot, enabling their customers to benefit from faster and safer in-country and cross-border digital transactions free of charge during the pilot. 1 year into the launch of the DCash pilot, the ECCB, through its technology partner Bit Inc. and its in-country DCash technical representatives, have conducted a fresh round of training with DCash financial institutions in support of their delivery of DCash services to their customers. In addition to facilitating training, the ECCB is placing special focus on improving the user journey and experience across the DCash platform. The recent training complemented a period of monitoring and evaluation of the platform by the FIs following the restoration of the service on the DCash platform. The DCash platform went offline in January 2022 due to a technical outage, following which the ECCB undertook a number of specific upgrades to improve platform resilience. I am Jacinthia Teixeira for SKN Newsline.
Who is behind the leaking of official correspondence between public officials, and for what end are the leaks being made, were questions recently asked by Premier Mark Brantley. Speaking on his On the Mark radio call-in program aired on One Radio, Premier Brantley outlined several examples of leaked correspondence, including a letter written to the Governor-General by leaders of PAM and CCM concerning their withdrawal of support for the Prime Minister. According to Brantley, Culturama Calypsonians have an opportunity to pen this year's competitive songs on the issue.
Everything that ought to be confidential pops up on social media. To what end? To what end? Was General Powell wrong to write in support of an application to the Commissioner of Police for a constituent or someone he knew? Nothing is wrong with that. All of us do it. The Commissioner acted within his power to deny, refuse. Well, how them letters make it into the public domain that I could hear sit down, minding my business at Van Radio and get them on my WhatsApp? You know, WhatsApp have a thing now where they say, oh, forwarded many times. You try to forward that, you could only send it to one person because so many people don't forward it and forward it. So I get the things I forwarded many times. Where it come from? Where? And more importantly than where, why? I want a calypsonian out there to write a tune, witty calypso, to say that we need a plumber-in-chief in St. Kitts and Nevis because, Captain, the ship is leaking.
The serious act of leaking confidential correspondence seemed to have arisen within recent months. Glenn Bart, SKN Newsline.
When visiting St. Martin, you want clean, affordable accommodations. You need Midtown Motel in the heart of Phillipsburg, a place where you can relax, take a stroll on Great Bay Beach, and that provides you easy access to great shopping. Midtown Motel, located on Front Street, Phillipsburg, St. Martin. Call Midtown Motel at 721-542-0614 and book your stay today.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknewsline.com. That's www.sknewsline.com. News at your fingertips. Nestled between evergreen mountains and the Caribbean Sea on the island of St. Kitts is the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center. With breathtaking views, a rugged, beautiful shoreline, and immaculate manicured gardens make this the perfect location for your holiday, event, or wedding. With a large convention center, apartments with balconies providing stunning views, and a secluded cottage for larger family groups or honeymooning couples looking for some privacy. We have something for everyone. Book your stay at www.millhouseskn.com or visit our Facebook page, the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center, an oasis of tranquility.
The St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce, SKN-CIC, says it is committed to working together with relevant stakeholders to promote a safe and healthy working environment in the Federation. Mr. Kevin Hope, Executive Director of the Chamber, while speaking on the Working for You on Wednesday, reflected on the theme of the annual World's Day of Safety and Health at Work. Let's act together to build a positive safety and health culture. The day will be celebrated on Thursday, April 28th, 2022.
So the St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce is committed and has acted to build a positive safety and health culture among our members. This was evident during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, where we assisted in the design of interventions and guidelines and took actions to protect lives and livelihoods. Of importance, we see the social partnership as paramount in terms of the strengthening of the social partnership for us to build social and economic resilience for workers, households, and firms in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Executive Director Hope noted that it is important for the general public to understand the Chamber's purpose.
It's important for the listening audience to understand who our why, the Chamber's purpose. We oftentimes viewed or recognized as the leading voice for business and employers in the Federation, with over 73 years of experience. And I would say our primary role or objective can be captured in our ABCs. Advocating for members by influencing the policy and regulatory environment so that it is conducive to job creation and inclusive growth. Building and expanding businesses. The Chamber is committed to helping businesses succeed and ensure prosperity for the family employed within or owned by the enterprises. And C, connecting the community through investments and leadership, including thought leadership, in areas such as education, health, social protection, and infrastructure.
He noted that CIC's top concern was making sure that employees' work-life balance was supported as COVID-19 exposed the need for the institution to invest more attention and support in terms of mental health. I am Jacinta Tishiro for SKN Newsline.
The St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association under 17 women's football team departed the Federation on 20th April for the Dominican Republic to compete in the CONCACAF round of 16 women's under 17 World Cup qualifiers. According to SKN-FA assistant coach Samuel Phipps, the team has been intensively preparing to participate in the qualifiers and is expecting the team to perform creditably.
We are excited to go on this trip. I think that the girls are expected to do well, and we are going out and giving it our best shot. We are pretty confident. We know that it's going to be a hard task, but we are pretty confident that we're going to have a good outcome.
Tell us a bit about the training that they've gone through. What was it like?
Well, the training, we have most of the girls are the younger girls because of CXC. Most of the team could not travel, so we have to bring in some of the younger girls. So training was robust. We had to get them with their ball touches, get them fit enough so that we can compete at this level.
Okay, and how long would they be participating? How many teams are involved?
Well, it's a round of 16, so it's win, go on, lose, come home. I'd like to say to the fans, root for the young sugar girls. I know the youths are our future, and definitely will make you proud.
The team is being led by SKN-FA coach Tyrone O'Loughlin, while Jazara Claxton is captain. She expressed confidence that the team is ready.
I feel extremely confident about the team, and we've been training and working hard together as one, and we'll go out and do our best.
Coming out of the shutdowns of the COVID-19 pandemic, the SKNFA is diligently working to put the various teams and leagues back into local and regional competitive mode. Glenn Bart, SK Newsline.
If you're looking for a place to host that special event, conference, meeting, social event, party, whatever the occasion, your best option is the Millhouse Convention Center in Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Located on the picturesque Garvey's Estate, the Millhouse Guest House Convention Center has enough space for outdoor events overlooking the Caribbean Sea. If you're looking indoors, the center is equipped with amenities needed to make your event a success. And by combining both spaces, you're sure to have a memorable event, no matter the occasion. Call the offices at Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center to book your next event on simply the most beautiful place in St. Kitts. Call 668-1392. Millhouse Convention Center at Garvey's Estate, Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Making your event memorable. It's the new and improved SK Newsline Android mobile app. With the SK Newsline app, you can watch your news reports, the SK Newsline newscast, sports, special features, and so much more. You can also send us a WhatsApp or call us directly. Go in the Google Play Store, search SK Newsline, and download the app today. The SK Newsline mobile app. News on the go.
An open interactive event can be described as
tremendous, effective,
on par with any conference around the world.
From exhibitions to trade shows, corporate events to product launches, from press events to political functions. We are the secret sauce behind events that make you go, wow. We've staged multiple world-class events in the Caribbean and developed the skill to deliver quality in every detail, whether the event is live or fully virtual, or maybe even somewhere in between. At Open Interactive, we got your events covered. Get your free quotation today at www.madebyopen.com.
In every country's success, its people must be involved. My government, at the beginning of this year, signed into law the local content bill that gives priority to Guyanese nationals and companies to procure goods and services and for employment.
That was Prime Minister Mark Phillips speaking on the importance of enforcing local content in Guyana, so all Guyanese can be enfranchised towards greater economic development. He made these comments during the keynote address at the launch of Technip FMC East Bank facility. The Local Content Act, which was passed in December 2021, outlines 40 different services that oil and gas companies and their subcontractors must acquire from Guyanese companies by the end of 2022. For instance, these companies must procure from Guyanese companies 90% of office space rental and accommodation services, 90% janitorial services, laundry and catering services, 75% local supply of food, and 90% local accounting services. Technic FMC has been locally active since 2016. The company renews its commitment to Guyana's development by training 27 employees. These employees must complete a 12 to 18-month apprentice program before transitioning into operational teams that support any ExxonMobil project relating to offshore activities in Guyana. Prime Minister Mark Phillips underscored that the Ali-led administration's vision to promote economic prosperity with a local content bill is a huge stepping stone for Guyana.
The bill is only the beginning of a great journey for Guyana, as these developments will undoubtedly bring more positive outcomes for the country, its economy, and by extension, its people.
Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat stressed the importance of training Guyanese with the requisite skills so that they can emerge on top of the employment scale in the oil and gas sector.
There's a certain amount of training, both local and overseas training for local Guyanese, so that they can come back and work and serve in the oil and gas sector.
Meanwhile, President of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alistair Rutledge, revealed that since the first discovery of oil in Guyana 7 years ago, the industry has grown tremendously with an investment approaching $30 billion from his company.
Not just from the revenues from oil and gas, but also from the investment that's taking place.
This is Antonio Day reporting for HCP 90 News.
The economic hardships brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war is of concern to the SLP administration. According to the Prime Minister, Philippe Pierre, in formulating this year's budget, his administration placed great emphasis on improving the socio-economic conditions of citizens in the short and long term. Throughout his statement, he outlined policy measures designed to bring immediate relief to individuals, households, and companies. Apart from cushioning consumers from the full impact of rising fuel and food prices, the Prime Minister unveiled a slew of tax reforms to ease the burden on citizens, including reducing personal income tax.
You may recall that the Solution Labour Party promised to waive the payment of income tax for workers earning up to $4,000 a month or $48,000 annually. Mr. Speaker, having reviewed the fiscal situation and the likelihood of higher interest rates occasioned by changes in the global economic environment brought about by the Ukraine war, my government has decided to defer full implementation of this waiver of income tax. As an incremental step towards fulfilling this purpose, my government has decided that effective January 1st, 2023, persons earning up to $2,083 monthly, $25,000 annually, will pay no tax. This will include public servants in grades 1 to 5. Mr. Speaker, this means that an additional 15,000 people in the public and private sectors will no longer be paying income tax. This measure should provide some relief to these workers battling to cope with higher food prices and the general increase in the cost of living.
The annual personal tax allowance will also be increased from $18,000 to $25,000 from January 1st, 2023.
Deductible allowances, which include home mortgages, interest, insurance, and others, will now be capped at a maximum of $30,000. There will be 3 personal income tax bands instead of 4. Persons earning between up to $15,000, 15%. Between $15,001 and $40,000, 20%, and above $40,000, 40%. Mr. Speaker, the effect of this change will result in 2/3 of taxpayers being better off. Mr. Speaker, the effect of this change will result in 2/3 of taxpayers being better off, bringing the average effective income tax rate down from 5.4 to 3.7%. For example, Mr. Speaker, an employee earning a monthly salary of $5,500 and with annual deductible allowance of $9,074 will enjoy an increase in disposable income of $112.43 under the new personal allowance of $25,000. This increase in disposable income equates to a 2% increase in salary.
His administration says the Prime Minister will also prioritize the payment of tax refunds to taxpayers.
Mr. Speaker, we have yet to fully honor our commitment to settle refunds of up to $5,000. Mr. Speaker, my government from November 2021 has instructed the Inner Revenue to refund all taxpayers owed less than $500. This exercise is ongoing. For the period November 21 to March 2022, an amount of EC 3.8 million in tax refunds was paid to 1,959 taxpayers.
The Prime Minister also announced plans to increase the amount and range of support services for vulnerable groups and to provide a $500 one-off payment for pensioners. The recent pay increase to public servants was also presented as part of immediate measures to bring economic relief to citizens. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
New this morning, this is new video coming in. A former Camp Pendleton-based Marine is back on U.S. soil after years of imprisonment in Russia. So here's video of Trevor Reed landing. This is at the San Antonio airport overnight. You see him right there, right by that plane. CBS 8's Chris Groh joining us live in Camp Pendleton. You've been staying on top of the latest developments. What's the latest now, Chris?
Good morning, Netta. And look, again, he is in San Antonio, but likely headed straight to a military hospital there in San Antonio. That, according to our sister station, who learned that from a source, because they are worried about Trevor's health right now at this time. At one point, they believe that he was coughing up blood, and that likely was due to the tuberculosis, and that his health in general was just deteriorating inside that Russian prison. Now, Reed, of course, was a part of a prisoner exchange between the U.S. and Russia. Reed was arrested, convicted, and then sentenced to 9 years in prison in Russia after he allegedly endangered the life and health of a police officer in a fight after a night out in Moscow. Reed and his family have long said that Reed was punished for a crime that he didn't commit. The U.S. government said he was unjustly detained, and it was because of his family's work raising awareness as well as the diplomatic work going on behind the scenes that led to this prisoner exchange. Of course, though, there are other Americans jailed in Russia, like Paul Whelan, who was serving time in a Russian prison accused of espionage. He continues to sit behind bars after he was arrested in 2018.
We have a close relationship with the Whelan family, and we talk to them regularly all the time. So our hearts were a little broken when we found out that it wasn't going to, the deal was not going to include Paul.
We know that the Americans have given up one of the concessions to Russia that they had. So that's now not something that can be used in Paul's case. It's not a lever that can be used to get Paul out of his prison.
And look, while Reed has been, of course, released in this prisoner exchange, if you take a look at your screen, that's his mother on Twitter continuing to fight for Whelan. So again, not her son, but as she pointed out, and as well as the Whelans have pointed out, the community of people who have family members who are jailed in international prisons, they have a tight bond. And so she is continuing, of course, to advocate for Whelan's release, for the U.S. government to try to continue to fight for him as well. Now, of course, with this prisoner exchange, the U.S. did release a former Russian pilot who was convicted of drug smuggling back in 2010. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison, and the White House saying that he was a nonviolent offender and that he had served, again, more than half of his sentence. That's why he was a candidate for this prisoner exchange that occurred in Turkey. Eric and Netta.
Nicholas
scoreless Puran Sunrisers Hyderabad were bowled over by Alzari Joseph's Gujarat Titans in match 40 today in the IPL. Abhishek Sharma's 65 ensured that SRH were given a good chance of a competitive total. He was assisted by Aiden Markram's 40-ball 56 on their way to 195 for 6 from their 20 overs. Puran could only manage 3 in his number 5 position. Mohammad Shami spearheaded the Gujarat Titans bowling attack with 3 for 39 and Alzari Joseph taking 1 for 35. Viridiman Saha set the tone in the tall run chase with a rapid 68 of 38 balls. However, the removal of 3 top-order batters returned SRH to the driver's seat. Needing a daunting 22 from the last over, Rahul Tewati and Rashid Khan did the unthinkable, smashing 4 sixes in the final over to get over the line in sublime fashion. The Titans with an emphatic 5-wicket win against the Sunrisers Hyderabad and now go 2 points clear on the standings with 14 points.
Welcome to the SKN Newsline Weather Report. I am Janil Boone. Here is a look at the 4-day forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. For a more detailed weather report, visit our website at www.sknewsline.com.